here's the next bout of the evening. T4 3 rounds and the amateur mixed martial arts rules in the heavyweight division. So introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner tonight, he enters the cage with a record of 3 victories, no defeats, representing Impact Gym. Ladies and gentlemen, serious guests, make some noise for Luke Newland. His opponent, standing across the cage, fighting out of the red corner, enters tonight with a record of 1 victory, no defeats, representing Urban Kings. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, make some noise for Ben Francis! Your referee in charge of the action, Mr. Paul Crossley.
Referee Paul Crossley with the unenviable task of stepping in between these two gargantuan heavyweights. Ben Francis in the black with grey and yellow trim, taking on Luke Newland in the black with white trim. 2 big heavyweight bangers here, do not blink.
Straight out of the gate there, straight closing the distance.
Francis was swinging that big right hand early, and he finds himself locked up with Newland now.
It's attempt for a hip throw there.
A lot of people with good things to say about both these guys. Harry just actually had a message on Twitter from Cage Warriors lightweight Oban Elliott saying keep your eye on Luke Newland. Obviously we've seen Ben Francis here before on FCC. We know what Francis is about, big knockout power.
Yeah, when you're a heavyweight, it doesn't take much to have that knockout power. Beautiful takedown, but it takes a lot more to possess wrestling skills like this.
Yeah, Newland with a nice takedown early. Francis trying to use the cage to get back to his feet, and he does. And all this is going to be just wearing on Francis a little bit and just maybe taking some of that explosiveness out of him here in the first round. Another big body lock takedown. Francis punching away from bottom position immediately, looking to use the cage to get back to his feet. Luke Newland looking very relaxed though, Harry.
Yeah, his base over his back control has been brilliant so far. Holding down. If you watch how many times he's grabbing the cage now, it's the second or third time we've seen it. Newland just overpowering his man.
Yeah, the referee's warned him a couple of times there, and I'm going to think if that was a situation whereby it significantly changed the momentum of what was happening, he may have put himself in a position where he's going to lose a point.
And Francis seems hell-bent on putting himself in that situation to try and get that Uchimata hip throw. Another third
body lock takedown there from Luke Newland. 3 for 3 on takedown attempts in this first round, but Francis every time though able to find his way back to the cage, find his way back to his feet. And how long before this starts wearing on Luke Newland a little bit? There's the Uchimata takedown. Newland though coming out on top in the scramble.
So far Francis has been like a cat. As soon as he's hitting the ground, he's straight back up. But it didn't seem the case in this one. Nice face bar.
Really carefully, doesn't give the back here. He's trying to get his back to the cage as he tries to once again get back to his feet, but this is a bad spot. Newland looking for the big squeeze here, more of a crank. See how the referee's going to let that go on. Neck crank's not permitted under the amateur rule set.
Survived it, taking a few shots for his trouble though.
Tries to pull him out by the leg and does. Beautiful stuff from Francis there. Francis now in control with Newland on the cage, and Francis looking to unleash. Big bomb from Francis.
Nice, great end to that first round.
And more to the point, Harry, he was able to defend that late takedown as well. And you could say maybe Newland wasn't putting everything into it as it was on the bell, but that's going to give Ben Francis a lot of confidence. The momentum appears to be shifting in his direction as we go into the second round.
Especially when Francis was throwing there with his hands, he wasn't in completely full balance, and from DL to sprawl on that takedown, that's going to give him some confidence going into the second round.
And he looked very happy with the opportunity to let those hands go, did Francis. And it has to be said, Harry, of the two guys, it's Luke Newland who's looking, not to say slightly worse than worse, certainly not looking like he's in any trouble here in terms of the gas tank, but he's the guy who looks like he's been through the ringer slightly more than Francis here.
I mean, when you're taking someone down and you're trying to hold them down and they just keep getting straight back up, and you're trying to keep that pressure on them and they just keep getting straight back up, you're going to got to ask yourself, how many more times can I keep doing this?
And it's not just the mental toll that we're talking about here, the physical toll, the mental toll as well, when you give it everything to put that guy on his back, and every single time he pops straight back to his feet, and that's got to take it out of you mentally. You've got to be thinking, what do I have to do to keep this guy here? And that's the situation that Luke Newland finds himself in as we head into the second round. Of course, he gets the action back underway. No touch of gloves. Newland advancing, but it's a big right from Francis. Trying to find a home for those big hammers. They're both landing big shots here. A nice uppercut in the clinch from Newland.
That definitely seemed more like the fight that Ben Francis has been looking for. But straight away, Luke Newland able to pacify and control his man.
Again, trying to throw his man over the hip there. Francis searching for a way out. Newland looking for another big takedown here, and doesn't really have much amplitude behind it, but he gets it. Let's see what he can do from this position. Can he take the back again? No, Francis looks like he'll be able to get back to his feet.
That's underhook of that front leg.
And the referee's calling time here, and Francis is going to lose a point. He's grabbed the cage again, and that could be crucial.
Had multiple ones in that first round, so no arguments with that call.
Yeah, you can't really... but it's very interesting here that the referee has let him have this back on his feet. Oh, two huge shots from Newland there. Both guys winging big bombs.
Newland's corner was asking the ref why didn't he put it back down against the cage, but referee's decision at the end of the day. Now reversing, Francis taking Luke Newland down.
A little bit of blood from I think inside the mouth or nose of Francis here. At this point, all commentators regret wearing white shirts, apart from you, Harry, dressed in black. Hammer fist here from Francis. Francis looking very happy with the position here. Got to be careful that Newland doesn't come out the back door.
Trying to pin his man down here, needs to control him if he's trying to get these shots off. Just a hold of the fence, the referee can't see it though.
Francis going hell for leather here. He just can't get enough posture to make these truly fight-ending punches, but he can still generate a lot of power with these short shots.
He's trying to create just a little bit of space to get power behind these shots, but Newland just isn't letting him create that little bit of space that he needs.
Newland giving his back here. Let's see if Francis looks to pull that leg out and maybe get a more dominant position, or will he be happy to just pin and punch?
Home in his corner here. Direct instructions.
Yeah, Newland looking to wrestle his way out, and Francis may want to just ease off a little bit here. He doesn't want to empty the gas tank in the second round. He's potentially got another 3 minutes left to fight after this one.
The thud of these shots, you can hear them.
Yeah, Newland is bloodied up here. And that is a big round, Harry, for Ben Francis. A big round.
Well, just what he needed after that first round of being subdued. After being subdued for that first round completely, exactly what he needed in that second round to come out. Saw what his capability of was on the feet, and even on the ground he looked a lot better that round.
Yeah, solid stuff from Francis in that round. And the question now is, what does Luke Newland have left, and what can he do in this third round to turn this one back in his favour?
I think he's going to have to go back to his game plan and just try and control him and subdue him. Keep taking him down. Try and take his time though. Not waste any energy. If he leaves any space for Francis, Francis is going to start trying to punch him in the head like he's been doing thus far.
Yeah, Francis looked like he'd been able to do some damage there. He looked like the nose and mouth of Luke Newland was bloodied up, and obviously that's going to affect his breathing, and he's already taken some big deep breaths in the corner. But as we've seen already tonight, Harry, one big punch from these heavyweights can change everything. And I think if there was a fight on the card that we didn't expect to go into the third round, it was probably this one. But here we are, Luke Newland, Ben Francis, third and final frame. And Francis throwing the big shots with that right.
Oh!
He gets caught on the way in. Newland looking for a finish here. Francis trying to recover and get back to his feet.
Newland should get back to the centre now. I don't believe you should be holding him against the cage like this. Gives him every opportunity to recover.
And what did we say, Harry? It only takes one shot from these big heavyweights.
Commentator's curse.
Beautiful stuff there from Newland. Looking to advance into top position here. Francis giving his back in an effort to get back to his feet. Newland pounding away, trying to get a grip on the neck.
Francis looking very fatigued, that's on.
He's got the choke in, it's a big squeeze and it's over! Luke Newland with the comeback victory in the third round.
All started with that big counter right hand, I think it was, that dropped Ben Francis. I think he was on Wobbly Street in La La Land ever since that. He looked gassed as he hit the floor, and Luke Newland made the most of it and sunk in the rear naked choke.
Well, the gangster Oban Elliott said to keep an eye on Luke Newland. Newland moves to 4-0 as a heavyweight here tonight at FCC 25. And does so with an incredible come from behind victory. He looked strong in the first round. Francis's sheer physicality and punching power allowed him to take over in the second. And as you said, Harry, that short counter shot was all it took to swing the momentum back in Newland's favour, and a nice show of respect between these two heavyweight brawlers there.
I don't think it'll be long until we could possibly see Newland in for a title fight, possibly against Pavel Delico from early tonight, who got a big knockout himself.
Book it immediately.
That's it, that's the one.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, at a time of 47 seconds of the third round, your winner by a rear naked choke in the blue corner, Luke